Holy moly! I'm in the fight mobile. Not excited today. Stuck in traffic. But I just got some news that MMA fighter Joao Carvalho died. Apparently, he got TKO'd. Everything was good. He was taken to the hospital for a routine medical exam. I'm giving you word for word from what I read. I don't remember where I read this, but I read lots of articles during the day, and not while I'm driving, but in between breaks at work. So anyhow, the guy got a TKO. He went to the hospital for a routine medical exam. He had a brain bleed from the trauma, the injury, from trauma due to the injury. And he was forced to undergo brain surgery. And then after that, he passed away. So, I don't know the cause of his death. But one thing I can say is that the rules of mixed martial arts in terms of fighter safety, they are going to start changing. We've seen Dada 5000 where he had heart failure and kidney failure and went into cardiac arrest twice. Now, he said it happened during the ring. So apparently Kimbo Slice must have beat him to death and then beat him back to life. But he may have misspoken, but he had cardiac arrest twice. And he's no longer fighting because he almost lost his life. So, hey, I don't hold that against him. I'm not calling him a coward because he has to make the best decision for his family. And if that means not putting your life at risk for MMA, then don't do it. I mean, I train. I love to fight, but I'll never do an MMA tournament. I'll do a Taekwondo tournament or a tournament where I'm wearing pads. And even in tournaments where people are wearing pads, people have been known to die. That tournament called the Ironman tournament. And people have died in that tournament before. Even with headgear and heavy boxing gloves, they've died. So, I mean, the body is a very, very sensitive thing with soft tissue. I mean, killing somebody is so easy. A truck almost ran into me. You wouldn't believe how easy it is to actually kill a person. That's why as martial artists, we have to be very careful with what we know and how we use it. So when I see guys that train in martial arts and they abuse those skills and bully people and hit women, I get really upset. I'd like to tear one of their heads off or something, because these skills that we have are very dangerous, and we should be very careful of how we use them, how we apply them, just in general. Now, back to this guy here with this mixed martial arts issue. He was in the ring, got a concussion, then got a brain bleed. A lot of these guys get seriously banged up. And this is why I'm against fighters fighting hurt. A lot of them get seriously banged up. They figure, hey, I can take some painkillers or a steroid shot or a cortisone shot, get in the ring and still pull it off. I can mentally tough my way through it. No, you can't. No, you can't. And the article I read, they claim that the guy was 28 years old, medically cleared to fight, and all that type of stuff. But I believe sometimes fighters can have concussion, or you can get a concussion during training, and it goes unchecked, then you get in the ring and you get that, then you get a serious hit. Not only that, it's also the factor of dehydrating yourself to make the weight and not rehydrating properly, so your heart is weak. So if his heart was weak, there's no way he could have undergone surgery and survived. Now, I hate just going to the details like I'm talking about a piece of meat. But the fact of it is that the fight business and the human body is, you have to be very careful. The fight business is very dangerous. Now, that's why I think they don't get paid enough. Because Ken Shamrock, as old as he is, he says sometimes he have back spasms to the point where he can't feel his legs. And then they'll go away. So he'll have spasms to the point where he can't feel his legs. Like his legs aren't, like he's temporarily paralyzed. And then those back spasms will go away. Anderson Silva's going to be walking around with screws and bolts in his leg for the rest of his life. A lot of these guys that you see, the ears are, they're going to be walking around with floppy ears. Like Forrest Griffin. I mean, his ears are like super flopped up. Randy Couture, he's got cauliflower ears. A lot of these guys have broken nose, I mean, broken orbital bones. The gloves are very thin. And on top of that, they're fighting. Kicks are included. You mean, the shin bone is one of the hardest bones in the body. Actually, the skull is the hardest bone in the body. But the shin bone is also very hard. The kick from the shin bone can actually break your jaw. You know? So just imagine that. Dislocate your jaw. Kick from the shin bone can even break your fibia and your tibia. That's two bones in your hands. Sorry, the radius and the ulna. Those are two bones in your hands. Fibia and the tibia is the two bones in your leg. So just imagine the force and the torque. I mean, it's easy for a kick to generate anywhere from 600 to 1,000 pounds of torque. You know, the impact on the human body. So that can hit your liver. Even a punch to your sternum, a real hard punch to your sternum or a knee to your sternum can give you an irregular heartbeat or arrhythmia for the rest of your life. See, that's why when Chael Sonnen did the spinning back fist and fell down, and then Anderson Silva waited until he was halfway up and then gave him a knee in the sternum. That's why he was so stunned for a period of time, because that knee in the sternum may have shocked his heart and just knocked the wind out of him. Okay? He folded up like a paper bag after that. So this is a very dangerous sport. Very, very dangerous sport. And this is just a warning to martial artists who practice martial arts and they go to the gym and they spar aggressively. Just because you have a tournament coming up doesn't mean you have to spar and go all out. You can just do the basics. And this I guess I'm a bit ticked off over this, because even though fighters are still dehydrating themselves almost to the point of organ and kidney failure and getting in the ring. I'm not saying that's what caused the death of this guy. I'm just saying that fighters are doing that. And one of the things that I'm happy about is that the California State Athletic Commission, they've changed their rules. You know, they've changed their rules. Doctors are going to administer tests to make sure that the fighters are not dehydrated before they step on the scales to be weighed. So you guys be fully hydrated before you're weighing for the fight. They're going to administer tests to make sure that you haven't dehydrated yourself down to make the weight. And you can't rehydrate intravenous using IV anymore. So pretty much you should fight in your weight class and not play games. Okay? You're a 170 guy and you're gonna force yourself down to 145 to almost no fluid in your body. You look like Walking Dead. Then you rehydrate up and you start. You're in the ring with a guy who's not a normal sized human being, and then you beat the daylights out of him. Oh, I'm a champ. Nah, I mean, come on, really? You're a champ and you almost lost your life completely. You almost took a serious L and died. So we gotta think more carefully about how these guys, the weight classes that they're in, how they make weight and how they train. And not only that, also they need to have, what's the word I'm looking for? specific, before, if it was me, before a fighter step in the ring, after they get weighed in, what I would require if I was the athletic commission is for that fighter. Now it's gonna be more expensive, but it's for that fighter to be medically examined 2 or 3 days before the fight. What that means is that they're gonna get a CAT scan. They're gonna get a full of CAT scan and full blood work. If there's anything wrong with the guy, we'll find it before he steps in the ring and get banged out. Now, if that a 5,000 had a CAT scan and full blood work, guess what? Guess what? They would have found whatever was wrong with him. They would have found it. He wouldn't have gotten in the ring. Events would have been called off. People would have lost money. Yes, but guess what? He wouldn't have almost lost his life. In the case of this other guy that died, I don't know what happened, but you know, my heart goes out to him and his family, because you love fighting, and learning those skills is not easy. It's not easy, I can tell you that. It takes hours and hours to train to do something you love, like fighting. Learning those technical skills, I can't. It's scary to me, because you invest years of your life fine-tuning your skills, learning how to fight, and because of something you love doing, you wind up dead. So it's kind of scary to me, and that's one of the reasons why I don't participate in MMA tournaments, because as much as I'm a fan, as much as I love to fight, I mean, I just, I don't. The closest thing I came to a tournament was I was fighting this as I work. This guy who wanted a piece of me, and he said I was gonna punch you in the face like this. So he was 210, 6'1". So I reached at that time I was 165. So I reached my foot up in the air just slowly, and put my foot away from his face like this, and say, well, that posture you're in, you get kicked in the face like this. So he said, I don't know what happened, but he just got excited, picked me up, slammed me in the ground, and my head hit the ground really hard. Now, after my head hit the ground really hard, I mean, that upset me, because I'm just trying to just casually show you something, not even without fighting you, and you're gonna slam my head in the ground. And to tell the truth, I lost my cool. After my head hit the ground, he was trying to put me into an arm bar, because he was like a two-time state wrestling champ or whatever, was trying to put me into an arm bar. So, I was really mad. I will admit that I was very angry. And one of the things I said to him after I hit the ground is, I'm going to love this. I'm really going to love this. So he was trying to put me in an arm bar. We were grappling for a while. And then I just caught him in a guillotine and choked him out. No. Dude was unconscious. I still choked him out. He tapped out like 3 or 4 times. But that scared me. When I went home, I had to tell my kids and my wife, listen, I was just joking around with some guy at work today, and I was trying to show him something, trying to show me something. I guess the both of us took it too far, and I wind up choking the guy out. Now, come to find out, I had been in a car accident previously where he broke his neck. And he had some kind of screw in his neck. He had some kind of... I'm going to turn these people, not letting me through. No, somebody finally let me through. Here we go. Let's see if I can squeeze through the damage in my car. I made it. Oh, yeah! He had some kind of screw in his neck. So pretty much by putting him in that guillotine and locking up his right leg and arching my back and just tweaking his neck, I literally could have paralyzed him again, or put him in a wheelchair, or his neck could, the vertebra in his neck could have been displaced. So, it's like these skills that we learn in martial arts, they're very dangerous. So be mindful of that. Be mind. So my sympathy go to this guy's family, and I just don't know what to say. I'm shocked. I'm shocked. But you know, it's like more and more we're seeing guys die in the profession. You know, last year 3 fighters died because of dehydration trying to make the weight cut. You know, Dan Henderson had to be pulled from the card because he had kidney failure and kidney stones. He, and along with several other fighters, had to be pulled from the card, pulled from one of the UFC cards because of severe dehydration, and the UFC thought that these guys were gonna die in the ring. So in my mind, is the sport. We need better safety rules. You know, I'm not saying taking ground and pound out of the equation is gonna make it better. If somebody get knocked down, you don't pound ground on them or something like that. But in boxing, you have the 10 count. If you can't stand up on your own, it's the judgment of the referee to call it. But in MMA, there's no 10 count. If you're banged up and you can barely stand up and you're not walking, you're not defending yourself, and you're walking around like Ronda Rousey, she was just unconscious on her feet, walking away from Holly Holmes, and then Holly Holmes turn her around and kick her in the head. That type of stuff. I mean, that's what goes down. And I really hope that I'm not saying take the striking out, but just it's just tough. There's no way around it. You use thicker gloves. There's just no way around it. I mean, yeah, it's a real sad situation, man. I gotta think about this thing some more. This is really sad because apart from fighters just starving themselves, dehydrated, close to organ failure to make the weight, then they get in the ring, then they get smashed up. And you know, fighting is something I love, but I can't imagine something I love. I spent all these years perfecting, hours training, time from my family, time from my friends, just to perfect that skill that I love. And next thing I know, you know, I'm trying to live my dream, man, and I step in the ring. I don't. Not only do I losing the fight is one thing, as Slam X 1976 said in his video, but then losing your life, that's a whole nother other thing, man. So sorry my video is so long, man, but I gotta think about this thing more carefully. All right, guys, peace out.